Mark McCloskey joins us tonight. Mark, thanks so much for coming on. So before I ask you about how you feel about this reimagined public safety you've been subjected to, tell us specifically what happened when the police visited your home recently.
Well, you know, the police were really very professional and very nice. The cops that came out to issue the search warrant on us, they were almost apologetic. They didn't want to have to be there. They were doing their job. I mean, Patty wanted to take a picture to document it, and she asked them if they wouldn't mind facing away from the camera so that people wouldn't get mad at them if their faces were shown on TV. And they all did so. I mean, they unfortunately are stuck between a circuit attorney that wants to prosecute us and their own belief that we did absolutely nothing wrong.
It goes without saying, I mean, police departments are structured along the lines of the military. They don't make independent decisions. They're told what to do when they do it. So they didn't make this decision independently, but you still can't escape the contrast between what happened the night the mob came to your home. You called the police, they didn't come. And then they come at the command of the prosecuting attorney later to take the firearm you used to defend yourself. I mean, is that what police are for, do you think?
Well, you know, and this is the same, my attorney advised me not to be on the show tonight because the rumor is that we're going to be indicted shortly, okay? Having said that, this is the same circuit attorney that released 35 of the protesters that torched and looted downtown St. Louis, but now she wants to indict me. I didn't shoot anybody. I just held my ground, protected my house, and I'm sitting here on television tonight instead of dead or putting out the smoldering embers of my home.
So, I mean, your strategy in response to all this seems to be staying silent doesn't get you anything, obviously. If you just retreated into your house, it probably would be burned to the ground, as you just said. But is that how society should function? I mean, shouldn't someone in authority in the state of Missouri be coming to your aid right about now?
Well, you know, the way I view it is that when you have certain elements of society encouraging violence, at the same time asking the police to stand down, what's the only possible result? The only possible solution is for individual citizens to stand up and defend themselves. And I'm afraid that what's being promoted is causing citizens to stand up and defend themselves so they can be chilled and you know, abused the way we have been.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think there's a homeowner in America who wants to defend his own home with a gun. I mean, that's something you do if you have no choice. You'd much rather the police came and took the risk for you. That's why you pay them. But they won't. What do you make of the media response? You were lectured on another channel by a guy who's repeatedly threatened violence against people, actually threatened violence against people for getting in his space, and yet he dressed you down for defending your home. What do you make of that?
Well, you know, the traditional media is right behind the mob. I mean, we're not allowed to use that word anymore. The large crowd of angry people and are supporting these entities, which are, from my understanding, Marxist and oppose everything that I stand for and I hold dear and near. And we've gotten tremendous support from ordinary people. My phones and my emails are running about 90% positive now. We've gotten calls from all over the world. I got a nice letter from a lady in Ireland this morning congratulating us for taking a stand against the violence. And so I think the vast majority of Americans wish they could do something. The problem is that if nobody stands up and supports them, if the media blasts them, I'm self-employed, I mean, I own my own law firm, but what if I was an employee somewhere? If I did what I did and I was an employee of anybody else, I'd have been canned the next day. My family would have been canned. No one would ever get a job again. This is the kind of social pressure that keeps people from standing up and defending themselves.
That's right.
I think it's time for people to take a different stand, to actually stand up and have some risk. I mean, Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death. Now everybody's afraid of losing their job.
I think you're exactly right. Slogans like that are meaningless unless people in power stand up to defend the country. Mark McCloskey, who's defended himself, we appreciate your coming on tonight, despite lawyers' counsel. Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.